Yo, what's up, everybody? I'm Bob Walters. He's Brett Grosso. This is Locked Up Sports. The Lakers are in town for a big game with the Knicks. Pete Alonso. Brett thinks he's coming back. I say no way. We'll discuss. And we are 1 week, 8 days from Super Bowl 59, the Chiefs and the Eagles. Brett, what's up? Welcome to the show.
Pete Alonso.
Pete Alonso's not coming back. I wouldn't come back if I was Pete Alonso. He's been, the Mets have done nothing to show that they want him back.
I listen, we can go back in history and look at, there's nothing I said more than there's nowhere Pete wants to be than here. The Mets have him. Like, I thought he was going to get offers from other places, and the Mets were just never going to match it. And I think that's what the Mets' plan was the whole time, was to, go, Pete, oh, look, it's too much money. Sorry, we're not giving you 5 years. Good luck, buddy. And it turns out nobody's even giving him anywhere near it. And he doesn't want to leave New York. So we're going to be looking at, I'm telling you, Pete, sometime this week, you're going to be looking at a 3-year deal with probably a first year, hopefully a team option, maybe a second-year team option. But it's going to be a team-favorable deal. And Pete's going to have to take it and come back to New York. And
how could you? It's like the girlfriend
he wants to be here.
It's the girlfriend. Yeah, that's fine. Ready? Your girlfriend dumped you because there was better guys out there. She thought there were better guys out there. She dumps you. You still want to be with her. She's out there. There's not better guys out there. Turns out it's a bunch of losers out there. So she comes crawling back to you after treating you like garbage and putting that whole 2 weeks while she was out there looking for someone else. She was trashing you and pursuing other people. No, I would lose respect for him if he came back now, to be honest with you. How do you come back? The Mets went head over heels for Soto, anything he wants, dinners. Pete, they haven't given two damns about it. It was kind of like, oh, here you go. They threw him a deal that he knew he wouldn't take. He should take. He's going to take less money. I'm telling you, he's soured. He can't come back. He can't come back now. He's soured. He's going to go. He's going to take less money.
He'd be gone already.
He's gone already.
Deal. No,
there's no worry.
He would have been signed and done. The only way he doesn't come back if the Mets really more or less don't offer him anything. The Mets may not come back and say, you know what, we're not even going to offer you anywhere near what. But I don't know where his fit is because people are talking Toronto. He has no fit in Toronto.
You think he comes back?
They might sign him. They might sign him.
With his hand. Yes. Mr.
No,
Cohen, please, can I have that deal still?
No. You're talking like, is he going to? That already happened. That's
no, I don't think it did. I don't think it did. I think he's coming back to try and up the level.
They came back to try and say, you're right, to try and say 3. No, he is not trying to up. There is no other place. He's going to come back at like 3 years, under 70. And in 1 year, I don't know if they're going to go player opt out or team opt out, or it's going to be not just going to be player opt outs like they did. No golden parachute on your way out, which is the dumbest thing in the world. They soured the Mets. The Mets are the ones who are in the driver's seat going, you know what, we don't like anything about it.
Mets never wanted him.
I don't think they do either. So I think that's the only reason he doesn't come back is that the Mets don't offer him anything. I think he takes anything they offer.
In the last 3 weeks, they showed more interest in Max Scherzer than they ever showed in Alonso. How could you possibly come back?
He's going to, because it's all he wants to be. And let me tell you, as your career goes and what your legacy looks like, and on the edge of having the most home runs ever in Mets history and going up with a chance at being up there if you win one World Series, you know what? That's all he wants in the world. You go anywhere else, your career is tarnished. You will never be the same player. Nobody's going to care about you outside of New York. You are no longer the polar bear, Pete. Those things don't exist in Toronto. Those things don't exist in Anaheim or wherever they're playing these days. I'm telling you, none of it. None of it matters.
You're so
he
wrong.
wants to be in New York.
He goes and hits 35 home runs and takes Toronto to the playoffs. He's just as big there as he is here. And it's really not a big. Let's be real, Brett. It's not a big deal to be the Mets home run leader in home runs in all of baseball.
Anybody anywhere, they have a first baseman. He's going to go be a DH and not even play the field, which is one of his favorite things to do in the world. So, yeah, good luck. Have fun in Toronto, not playing the field, going and DHing while Vlad Guerrero's over there, and you're playing what? You're not even number 2. You're like number 3.
No, I think you're wrong. I think you're overselling the Mets. First of all, does anybody care who the Mets' all-time home run is? We know who it is. Mets fans know who it is. Nobody cares.
Besides for Pete, no. I think you're right. I think you're absolutely right. No, I don't think Mets fans at this point. I think they're soured by the way Alonso went about this with Boris. I think they're soured by the Mets, not pursuing Alonso. The fans who like him, at least,
they're mad at the Mets. The Mets fans are mad at the Mets. I'm in a ton of groups that are mad at the Mets.
And I think Cohen has heard them and says, you know what? I can appease the Mets fans and get this more or less a great deal for a guy like Alonso. And I'm sorry, no matter who gets Alonso, it's more about fit. It's a pretty good deal.
Yeah, it's pretty
like
good
any
deal for
other
2
time
years.
in history. Yeah, I think so. And I think that's the reason to get Alonso, not because Alonso and his legacy with the Mets for us. I think we get Alonso because it's a good deal, and I think Cohen's a businessman that likes a good deal.
First of all, I don't think Cohen's as involved as you think he is. I think he's taking a step back this year. He's letting Stearns do it. Second of all, I think he did appease the Mets fans. Listen, I made a deal, right? I got over him $70 million 3 years, and then last week at the Mason Day thing,
you get deals
he came out and he's like, well, so it's basically over.
You get deals done,
no, it's different though. You have to please the public.
He stepped in at that moment. That's the moment he stepped in. He wasn't involved at all, I don't believe, until that moment. He was watching from the sidelines, knowing what their stance was. They were just staying very firm in their stance, and good for them. I like their approach to this. But now, all of a sudden, when he heard the fans come back at him, and he already had from Twitter and social media and everywhere else, but when they came back at him, I truly believe he instinctually, as a fan, realized what mattered to them, and realizes also, if it was a bad deal, they're not asking him to go match like they did for Aaron Judge. It's some big deal for somebody for long term. No, they're saying, you know what? You can go get Pete right now, and we won. Boris has conceded. He even came out and said, you won, Mets. He came out and said, you won. He goes, we will take a 3-year deal. So it depends on opt-outs at this point. So if the Mets can get a team opt-out after 1 or 2 years.
For more money. He's trying to get Pete out, and you pay him more money.
No, but that's over. No, that's all over. That's all over. Right now, it's going to be that same deal without all the craziness. Team opt-out probably after 2 years. Probably player option year 1, team opt-out year 2. Just take Pete back for, whatever it costs you, $45 million over 2 years.
I think the Mets don't want an aging, power-hitting first baseman who's averaging the field.
2 years is nothing. 2 years is nothing.
I take him for 2 years. I'm not saying they wouldn't. I'm saying I don't think the Mets want. No one's giving him 5. No one's giving him 5 at all this year. It
still leaves you in a spot where even if you have him on your team next year, you could still go get Guerrero. That wouldn't matter. It wouldn't matter.
Oh, you don't let anything stop him from getting Guerrero.
No,
Guerrero's
exactly.
the guy.
Whereas they won. They're not 5-year deal. They're down to 3. They can get a team opt out. I really think he's coming back. And you know what? As you see from the jersey behind me, I hope he does come back. Because I just got that shirt and it's really comfortable, and I don't want to have to give it away.
Yeah, but don't you think it's embarrassing now for Pete to come back?
It is horribly embarrassing, and it shows you how much he's about to be so embarrassed to do it. And he's still going to do it, which means I know it's ready. He would have signed already to Toronto if it was. He already knows the embarrassment. He's went through the embarrassment. This is dragged on for weeks. He knows how embarrassed he's going to be, and he decided he doesn't care.
I think they were close.
For another team.
I think he was very close with Toronto, and he's not happy about it. He's not happy about what he's going to get for Toronto. And he said to Boris, or Boris said to him, hey, listen, let's go back, take one more run at the Mets, see if we can bump this deal from Toronto. I'm not going to the Mets. I'm not going to the Mets.
I'm not saying he will sign with Toronto, but this is what I think. This is what his intentions were of signing with Toronto. 0. I do think he would end up going there. He will hate every moment of it. He knows he's going to hate every moment of it. And you can say he wants to be here. He wants to play New York. He knows what it's all about. He's homegrown. He knows the fans love him. He does not want to leave. Whereas when you leave, there's no coming back. It's over. So he wants 1 or 2 more years. He wants his World Series, and that's all that he wants at this point. And if he's smart enough, he will come back embarrassed and try and win this World Series, because the Mets have a much better chance this year of winning the World Series, or at least competing with the Dodgers in the NLCS.
Toronto's
with
good.
Pete Alonso.
No, yeah,
I'm saying the Mets. I'm not worried about Pete Alonso. I'm worried about me and the Mets. We are going to be selfish now, Bob. This is different. This is a new era.
If you're saying to me, are the Mets better with Pete Alonso or better without Pete Alonso? Obviously, they're better with Pete Alonso. Obviously. This year, next year, obviously better with Pete Alonso than without him.
I don't think so.
But still, I don't see how he comes back.
You don't see Pete doing it.
They've ignored him. Yeah, they've ignored him.
You don't see Pete doing it.
He's been the worst. The Mets have been the worst. They bent over backwards for some of these players.
Do you think the reason he doesn't come back is because of the Mets or because of Pete?
Oh, I wouldn't go back if I was Pete. If I was Pete, I'd say screw you. I'd say screw you. I think you're describing that Pete's dying to come back to the Mets. No, yeah. I think he's sitting there going, no way, screw you. You can treat me like that, screw you.
Bob, nobody in history, no player, even players who wanted to come back, have ever come back after what he just went through. So for him to do this, you're exactly right.
Yeah, because they treated him so badly.
We're going to have a definitive answer to which one of us is right, whether or not all he wanted to do is play in New York. Because if he signs with the Mets, then I'm sorry, I am as right as can be.
He's
if he
not a New Yorker, right? Where's he from? From
no,
down
he's not.
south?
Tampa.
Tampa. So it's not like he's a New Yorker.
No, and supposedly his family doesn't even like it here. Supposedly his wife
doesn't
doesn't
want him here. So what are you talking about then?
No,
his wife doesn't want him here.
He doesn't care. I'm telling Bob, Bob. We're about to find out because
I
now
don't-
he's
I
got to
think
come
you're
back.
wrong.
If he signs with the Mets, it's going to be clear that he got torn. He should have went somewhere else. At this point, you're exactly right. I would be somewhere else, even if I love the Mets.
Yeah, excuse me,
Because
Mr.
there's
Cohen.
no way I would come
Mr.
back.
Cohen, can I get that deal still? Is that deal still available?
Pete.
Come
That's
on.
what Pete is, and that's what's going to happen. I'm telling you, and it's going to be so embarrassing for him. But it's the Mets who are going to
And
benefit.
then what if he goes out there and he hits 15 home runs and he stinks? Then forget it. Then he blew his last. Then that home run is almost going to be a second thought.
He might hit for no average, but there's never a year over the next. I'll give you 5 years where that man hits less than 30 home
He
runs.
can leave here now, right? Leave here now. The fans are all pissed at the Mets. He comes back in 10 years for Old Timers Day. He's a hero, standing ovations for the rest of his life at that City Field. That's what I would do. I'd say
2 years. 2 years, one of which is a World Series berth, not a definite victory.
Okay,
one of which is a berth. I think is what what we're looking at right now. But just watch. He'll be back soon.
So big night tonight.
Let's real quick. The Mets also shored up that bullpen. Ryan Stanek coming in right now which is a great pickup. It beefs up with AJ Minter as the setup man and going into obviously Edwin Diaz.
It was wrong. Minter. Remember the story I just told you before? It was Minter.
Oh, it was Minter. It was Minter. So
get Minter up. The kids who had the in college had the phone number to the bullpen, and they said get Minter up. And now he's back. He's back on the Mets. Minter's all right, and Stanek is the bullpen looks good. I gotta tell you, the bullpen looks good.
Mets right now, all right, we'll put it this way: the Mets right now are looking very seriously. They're in talks with the Padres, along with some other teams that are too, for Dylan Cease, who pitches a lot of innings, 3.24 ERA. But the names that they're being talked, like we all know about, for the Mets that would have to be given up, and I don't know what number of which, or if it's all of them or one of them. It would be Acuna, Brandon Sproat, or Jet. And so if one of those, some of the Mets top prospects are going to have to go. I don't know who else would go with it.
And so the fans don't want to do it.
Let me tell you.
Fans don't want to do it because they don't want to give up anything. They never want to give anybody up. They want to give up to
But this is what they've been waiting for. This is what the Mets have been waiting for. This is why they didn't unload and get the other guys along the way.
I don't think that trade's happening.
They had a lot of other options, so some of these guys will go. They are not going to all be on the team.
And I'm okay with it, but I don't think the Mets are going to make that deal. They don't want to give up these pieces. They love this minor league build from within type of situation.
I truly believe that they really have waited for one guy, but this is a rental. Dylan Cease is a 1 year rental guy.
You don't want to give these. What if Acuna turns out to be great? How many people are we going to give away?
I don't want to get rid of Acuna. I don't want to get rid of Sproat either. Pitching, you don't give up pitching. I'm sorry.
I get it.
You don't give up pitching.
But you're giving it up for already a commodity.
Well,
somebody he's good.
Well, you're about to give up a 1 year rental pitcher for a guy who this year will actually be in your rotation at the end of the year. So that's what I think is a tough choice. Like both are going to be in the rotation, like for somebody. So
you're not getting them. You're not getting them for a bag of balls. So you got to give up somebody.
No. This is going to be This is going to listen. You never know. The Mets know how to. They've worked some other deals, so I don't know what their interest is in them. But I'm telling you, if you add Dylan Cease to this rotation, don't forget that bullpen might get even better when Clay Holmes realizes the Mets don't want him as a starter. So when Clay Holmes ends up in that Mets bullpen is one of the best bullpens in baseball with Clay Holmes in it also.
I mean, this is an organization that
if you ever had a good bullpen, I will give you that's some depth in the bullpen.
This is an organization that thought it was okay to trade Nolan Ryan, to trade Tom Seaver, to trade Justin Turner. We don't exactly have a great track record with this.
We let him go. Wheeler.
Wheeler's another one. I mean, come on.
Not only for every win he would have got us, he makes us lose a game every time.
It's the worst.
It's even worse.
It's almost as bad as Turner, the Wheeler thing.
But
now because they're in it every year. So big night.
It's going to be interesting to see which way they go. But you are right.
Big night at the Garden, as it always is. Lakers in town. LeBron's in town. The one time they come in, both teams playing well. Bronny's in town. Does he start? Is he gonna? You know what? You said that you think they put him on there. If he's starting with his father at Madison Square Garden,
he's starting. No, that's not happening. They will be on the court together. I can tell you right now. The only reason Bronny's called up from the whatever league they're calling it these days to play is on this East Coast trip for them, so he can play with his father at the Garden. They will have court time at the Garden today. There will be a failed alley-oop or something. Watch.
Well, then listen. It should be it should be a good game. It's
embarrassing.
Sure, tickets are through the roof, right? Because how many more times are you getting LeBron here? I'll look and see what they are.
This is
What do
it.
you, what do you think to get it? No, maybe a couple. No, he's talking about playing 5 more years, but I don't. I mean, obviously, I don't see that.
Good for him.
But what do you think? What do you think the get-in price tonight? 6:30, I believe it is. Madison Square 500. You think 500 to get
6 or 7? 7.
Oh, really? 7 o'clock. What? 700 or 7 o'clock?
700 in the door.
700. Okay, let's see. You might be right. I don't think it's that high. I believe it might be though with LeBron, right? Right.
700 in the door.
Let's see.
It's fine. It's like 4 to get in there on a regular.
On a regular night, I know it is. The Knicks games are expensive. So here we go. Tonight,
it's Saturday night.
Saturday night.
No,
They always put them on Saturday
night. Saturday night at the Garden. You kidding me?
Any?
Come right out. You go watch Saturday Night Live. LeBron. It's like
You
that's
know
what
what?
everybody waits for.
You could sit.
What do you got?
You could sit right on the almost on the free throw line, level with the free throw line. Section 225, not bad seats. Row 15, all in fees and all in 426.
Oh, not bad at all. Not bad.
426. A pair of tickets. So that's a pair of tickets even. That's not bad, right? And it's the rated StubHub is rating it amazing.
That's per ticket.
Per ticket, yeah. Obviously, per ticket.
No, honestly, I right now as a single guy with no kids, decent job, I would spend $500 to go sit in that seat to go watch the Knicks at the Garden versus the Lakers and LeBron. I would.
Yeah, it would cost you. Yeah, you're right. $400. That's not bad. You can't beat it. I mean, I don't know.
No.
Regular season, $400 expensive.
No, I'm not, Bob. That's not what No. But if the difference is you would go to that same game next week on a Saturday night, not LeBron, right?
300, 250,
yeah, so
250.
It's not like you're going for 80.
Knicks are expensive.
So it's not that big of a.
Rangers aren't that good.
It's
And they're
not that
expensive.
big of a bump, in my opinion, to go see LeBron.
Now the Knicks playing well. Okay, this is the end of a 5.
Yeah.
I think this is they one more game left. This 5-game West Coast coming into the
Scoring,
Garden.
140 plus points a game.
Yeah,
in
they
some of these
scored. They scored a
games.
million points. And then the 2 games before this, they started this string. They didn't score 100 against the Nets. They almost blew a game against the Nets. They're kind of up and down. They've been playing down to their opponents. But this is big. They played well now. They've won, I think, 3 in a row. They've won the first 3 I know at home during this homestand. And now they got the Lakers tonight, which they can win. They should beat the Lakers. They're better than the Lakers.
AD's out. Bronny's playing a couple minutes. So you got the Knicks. But the Lakers have been playing well. So you can't even say that. Lakers have been playing well, but that's with Anthony Davis playing defense. Without him, they've had a tough time. But I would like, LeBron's going to go to make the show about him tonight. Probably add his son into the mix. But LeBron's going to go for a big game. I don't know. I think Mikal Bridges in the corner. Can he hit those corner threes? If he hits those, this Knicks offense absolutely explodes when Mikal Bridges is hitting those corner threes. He can go for 40 on any given night like we saw him do on Christmas. And I expect a big game from Bridges. He needs to start coming around, and the Knicks need to start playing some real defense once in a while. Or else they're going to never win anything in the playoffs.
They're kind of pigeonholed into that 3rd seed right now because I don't think
they're pushing 2 because the Celtics are fading.
I think the Celtics are going to. The Celtics are a 3-point shooting team. They shoot up the
They're
record. They've set new records for 3 points.
Doldrums of the NBA season.
Yes, but they shoot a million 3-pointers, and you're going to have spells where you're going to be even no matter how good of a shooting team you are, you're going to have spells where you go a little cold. You're going to lose some games. I think that's what happened here. They're gonna pick it right back up. I think it's Cavs,
like a home run
Celtics,
hitter.
Knicks. I think you got to be worried about the Knicks. You can't fall into the 5th seed or the 4th seed because you don't want to be in the 4 or 5 game.
I think the Knicks have had a lot of new pieces that have figured out what's going on and have really started coming around. Some of these guys, Bridges has not lived up to the amount that they have traded for him. I'll tell you that much. Not yet.
But he's shooting better. Yeah, he changed his shot.
But that's what I'm saying. Remember this time last year with the Knicks? Where were the Knicks this time last year?
They were a little bit better now than they were then. It's not that much better.
But this was like where they weren't
there
yet.
Yeah.
They're just about to start. No, they didn't do anything yet. It was this time where they heated up and it went crazy.
But this is a different team. Completely different team. You got 2 all-star starters.
But that's the thing is this team's just starting to work together and gel together where I think everybody's finding their spot on the floor and how to work together. And I think by the end of the season, that team's going to move themselves up and compete with the Celtics for the 2nd spot, not going down to 4 or 5. I don't think that's where it's going. I think that the Cavaliers are going to go off, but I really believe that The Celtics, for whatever reason, because I haven't watched enough Celtics.
Oh, the Cavaliers have gone off. They were 19-0 to start the season.
No. That's what I'm saying is I think they're doing. But I really think the Knicks have a very good shot at this 2 seed, and which is a huge difference going in through the rounds, as you know, like who you're playing and where you're playing and the matchups that go into later rounds.
Yes, but
so,
listen,
I think the Knicks team comes around, and I'm going to start. We're just starting to really. Get
I think they have a better chance. I think they have a better chance. I think they have a better chance to fall into to have the Milwaukee pass them.
Me and you have disagreed in this entire show. So let's not start now, Bob.
Yeah, well, I think you don't think
start agreeing now.
The Celtics.
I think you might be right. You might be just
Celtics
right.
are the champions. Celtics are the champions.
The Knicks I think the Knicks start learning how to play with each other a little bit better over the next few weeks. And this team, when the pressure comes on, we saw it last year and the year before, and a bunch of guys who are underdogs are now underdogs again somehow in the year where they weren't underdogs. And let me tell you, playoffs come around, important games come around. This team's going to be able to score 140, and when they need to play defense,
score 140
really
every night now. They don't play defense though. They don't play defense.
But when the playoffs show up, they might.
Yeah, well, so you think they're going to not play defense for 82 games, and then the playoffs show up and just start playing defense?
People don't like to work during the regular season. They don't like to work, but when the playoffs come down and you're a good player, you can. You tell them, you know it. You know those guys. That's how clutch players do. They just lazy all season. They that they love offense. They hate defense. But when it comes down to clutch time, we got the guys who've showed last year. You see that defense they played last year in the playoffs? It's what got them there, man. They were freaking relentless.
Yeah, but they also had Brunson's not a good defender. They had Hartenstein. No. They had better defenders. They had better defenders.
Josh Hart did a great job last year, and even though it's like, but
Josh Hart's playing great, but Cat's not a great defender.
Step up. No, but he can be. He is an effort guy. You're right.
The Knicks are the team. The Knicks are the team. They're gonna have to. They just got to They're gonna win by just outscoring you. It's gonna be shootouts. Definitely 150, 140 points, and just hope you don't score 140.
Play like elite defense and shut teams down to under 100, but you're just gonna step it up and make it where you're not going in a 150, 140 game. You're gonna win 140. Listen, the competition's gonna step up pretty intensely versus the Knicks when it comes down to playing the Cavaliers team this year that was much different than last year if they were playing them, or the Celtics team. Like this is going to be a rough go for them, man, going through the playoffs. So they need that.
I mean, listen, the Knicks last year lost
at least number 3. I'll give you that.
They lost game 7. It was game 7 at home last year. The year before, they lost at home at the Garden. I think you gotta solidify your home court advantage. You got to make the Garden a place you don't want to come in and play.
And they they still have a lot of options for trades. I don't know if they're going to make any. I really have no idea what. But there are something probably that could be in the works that we don't even know about, because they have the draft picks like they have. They have some people they would like to get rid of, like Mitchell Robinson, with expiring contracts that are way too much money. So we'll see. And some people want to do that and take it off the books and save some other teams some money. So hey, we'll see what they end up with. You don't even know if this is the team that they're going to have going into the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, is it Jimmy Butler?
Day or two left.
Jimmy Butler's out there,
left, right? It's like 2 days left, so we're going to find out.
Jimmy Butler has asked for a trade.
Yeah, he's not. Yeah,
but he wants out of Miami. But do you want him? Yeah. Do you want Jimmy Butler?
No.
I don't either because I don't want somebody who just blew up a locker room somewhere to come in now.
No, and they actually want something for him. I think they're talking about Golden State now, but Golden State's questioning the whole deal too, and Golden State doesn't even want to deal with it. Plus, they probably don't want to go inside the Eastern Conference with the Knicks and all the other stuff, depending on and the Knicks probably don't want to give them up much. So
yeah,
someone
like that. If I was like an owner or something, someone like that who just basically blew up my locker room, came out and talked trash about the whole team, the organization. I want out. I want this. I tell him he's not going anywhere. Sit on the bench. You're not going anywhere.
Not paid. Suspended.
And if you don't like it, then you could just take a hike
without pay too. He hasn't gotten paid for most of those games the last couple of weeks. So, and that's what gets him too.
But it could be like a Kyrie situation. Could be like a Kyrie, because now Kyrie goes and he's playing great. He's having a great year.
But Jimmy Butler is one sit-out year away from not playing basketball.
Yeah, he's not as good as Kyrie. He's not as good as Kyrie.
No, and he's too late in his career. I don't know his exact age, but he's not like a spring chicken, coming in there where he can go sit out anything. That wrecks everybody's career.
Yeah.
Tell Le'Veon Bell.
So 8 days tomorrow. It'll be 7 days to Super Bowl 59. The teams are now they've done their week of regular prep kind of thing. This is just a regular game for the Chiefs. They're in it so many times. Yeah. I'm of the I did a whole thing last week about why do people hate these dynasties? Why do people hate the Chiefs? Like, what's there to hate about the Chiefs, right?
I actually like it, especially when you're playing the Eagles. I hate Philly, so I don't know why people are like.
Did you see that
I don't know why people are all like. What?
The guy shooting the gun?
Yeah, that's Philly for you. Yeah.
I mean, come on. Now they're
No,
having
it's
planes
like that.
they're having planes crash into the streets.
No, you have the other guy who was at the stadium who was going after the girl and calling her the C word, and then he loses his job for all this stuff. That's a regular day in Philly. And we go, oh, no, it's not like that. And people are like, it's not like that. If you wear a jersey, you're not going to get hurt. No. You will come out of there soaked with beer in the middle of December, no question. Now, you're lucky if the beer can doesn't hit you in the head. The only reason you didn't get hurt is because they missed. So that's the only way you don't get hurt in Philly. They miss.
Yeah. And the kid, you see the poor kid that died? He was climbing the light post. He was at Temple University, fell down on. So you know what that says to me? They didn't even catch him.
No. You know why, Bob? We went through this last year. They didn't grease the poles.
Yeah. Well,
you got to grease the poles, Bob.
First of all, and also
the Knicks win one playoff game. You got to grease the poles.
I'll say the same thing to Philly fans that I said to the Knicks fans. Let's not embarrass ourselves. Who celebrates a trip to the Super Bowl like they celebrated like they won their fifth straight Super Bowl? They were out in the street. I mean, come on. Embarrassing, embarrassing Phillies.
New Orleans has to prepare. They're like nervous. They're like, oh my God, now we have the Philly fans coming down for 2 weeks.
No,
it's like their worst nightmare down there. They said they're like the biggest bunch of heathens to walk through Bourbon Street, and they just leave, and they're just disgusting, and they're smashing tables all over the place.
Now, the other thing I'm saying, and I've been going around saying this now since the last year, is I think Mahomes is on track to greatest ever quarterback. Now, I was looking at a stat today. I found it. It said since 2001, there's been 125 drives in the playoffs in the last minute of a game where a team is down 3 or 7. You saw this? Down 3 or 7 points. And 121. Now, there was I think Brady was 6 for 11 in those things. Yep. Good. I think Breeze was 3 for 6, 7 for 7. Mahomes. And he just doesn't lose. He doesn't lose. And he makes the play
clutch.
Every time. Every clutch as clutch can be.
When you're in the playoffs, you step it up. You know how, there's guys who just have a different gear. Everybody else is playing to their limit, or their brains slow down in hard situations. And that is what Mahomes is. And you are exactly right. I'm sorry. People are out of their minds if they're talking like nobody's ever going to be better than Brady. 2 or 3 years ago, we were talking about the Belichick trophy. I'm sorry, it should be the Andy Reid trophy by the time this whole stuff's over.
Andy Reid's the Mount Rushmore now. All right.
But really, though, with Mahomes, he's going to most likely win a three-peat, which is his 4th Super Bowl. He's never not went to the AFC Championship game. The only guys he's ever lost to are Burrow and Brady. He has knocked off the best repeatedly, over and over. He's come up and had those fourth quarter, last-minute drives and succeeded every single time. We are watching an anomaly, and we're not taking it as seriously as we should be in the middle of it.
Yeah, and it bothers me. It bothers me to no end because I'm on the Mahomes greatest of all time wagon.
100%.
That I'm going to have to deal with forever when I bring it up. Well, Brady beat him in the Super Bowl. Because that's the argument. That's the argument. Brady won this many Super Bowls. Brady beat him in the Super Bowl. And I don't think it's fair. It was only his second Super Bowl or his first Super Bowl. I don't think it's a fair argument.
Yet. Do you know what the thing is? This isn't going to solidify it for me that he's the greatest of all time.
No, this won't either. But I don't think he's done. I don't think he's done.
I'm in the category where if next year he gets wrecked and he never plays good football again, and they don't do it, or if this whole thing collapses,
then he's still behind Brady.
But I don't see that. I see them not making the AFC Championship every year, but I think over the next 6 years, he wins 2 more Super Bowls after
They never lose, Brett. They never lose.
And there's the other end is they don't lose. And they're going to go into and be, even if they don't make the Super Bowl, they're AFC championships. When Brady was in that last year in New England, they didn't make the playoffs.
No. And they only lost 1 game this year. They lost 1 game to Buffalo, right? Because they don't even count the last week of the season. They lost 1 game this year to Buffalo. And I think listen, Vegas knows more than me and you, and they're better at this. So somehow it's going to be a tight game because Vegas has at a point. It's gone from 2 down to 1.5 this week.
There's only one reason for that.
Well, money's going in and coming in. But Saquon Barkley's a little bit of a mirage too, because he gets big chunks of yards and then it won't do anything. He'll get a 70-yard run and then he'll do nothing the rest of the game, and he'll have 2 70-yard runs. He's got 130 yards.
You give Andy Reid 2 weeks to prep for Saquon Barkley, and you give them 2 weeks to rest up. And they also gave Saquon a week to rest up.
And
So he took the
Spagnola's
whole
a
week
Hall
off.
of Fame
No
coordinator.
snaps, no snaps for a week for Saquon. Just so
How
you know,
about
he hasn't
Spagnola?
practiced.
How about Spagnola dialing up that blitz that nobody saw coming on that fourth down where the guy should have caught it off the corner? Nobody saw that coming. And they were running three guys free to the quarterback.
So going back to that too, like you look back and Josh Allen's the guy who he's been given the ball in his hands to make that drive happen and to go beat that, slay that dragon. And I'm sorry, that's the moment that everybody was expecting for it to come through, and he missed it. And part of that is not reading that blitz. Now, nobody in America saw it coming, but as a quarterback, I mean, that's what you that's what you need. That's the moment. And he still made that pass where the guy still should have caught it.
Yeah, but was he? You think he was throwing it there, or was he just throwing it and he just landed?
No,
because
that guy was he was wide open. Like, so he was going to throw that without getting hit. He nails that guy for a corner he nails a corner for another 10 yards.
Should have caught it. Still should have caught it.
But where it ended up was such a void that the guy was able to stop, and that's not that.
Because it was a broken play, right? Whatever they were trying to do got all blown up as soon as these three guys came running free, untouched to him.
The blitz on that right side caused him to be wide open. That didn't have
anybody that's what you have to do. You throw it at the blitz.
No, he was wide. So if he got that pass off, that is a perfect catch, and that is like. Hold on. Yeah, so pretty much Allen needs to, he got his shot. That's why you show Mahomes is the greatest, because he's beaten some of the greatest people. Other quarterbacks have had better routes to Super Bowls but Mahomes is going through the best every single time. We're watching some of the best quarterback play we've ever seen in the history of the NFL playing each other. So Mahomes is not only doing this, but he's doing it versus the best we've ever seen.
He does it in the clutch. He's clutch.
So that's what makes you the greatest, is that you're doing it at a time where everybody else is great also. And I think that's what everybody's kind of missing with Mahomes is he's elite in a group of elites. He showed himself outside.
And by the way, I'll put the stats. I looked and I spent like an hour last night looking at the penalties and the numbers with the penalties, and there's websites that you could go to, and then who has more. Listen, he's up there, and the Chiefs are up there as far as most penalties advantage, like getting called on the other team. And it's not anything that you look at and go, oh, this is rigged. They're doing it, because I hate that. I hate that too, that argument. It's rigged. He flops. He doesn't fake injuries. He doesn't get hurt. He doesn't miss games. Right?
No. There's been some questionable calls in many of the games. We can go, oh my God, I'm sorry. That's for all teams and all games. And like you said, that does even itself out.
You know how hard it is to referee these games?
It's impossible.
It's impossible.
They need to do a better job to get it where certain things that shouldn't be up for subjective,
like the ball, spotting of the ball.
It should be 100%. All that stuff should be.
You can't tell where he goes, where his arm is, where the ball is, when his arm goes down, when he's in a pile of 30 people.
Microchip, specific on the field, easy to
laser beams, like going across
same
something.
Thing. No. All of it. Like, I'm sorry, it's stuff's way too easy to do these days. But you know what? Those changes will come, and I think we're going to be watching much different stuff where hopefully the officials, missing stuff comes out. But now they just call everything like it happened and then wait for replay to change it. So sometimes they're just in the not throw the flag, but like be a little bit more, oh, he didn't get it, or let.
Did you see the thing where? And I forgot about this where they're basically where the Chiefs started this dynasty with Mahomes and everybody, when they had a phantom roughing the passer against Brady. On an interception that Brady threw. He threw a pick in a big spot. Game was going to be over. It was fourth down, and they called it for hitting Jones for hitting his face, for hitting him in the head, and he didn't touch him. So come on, listen, it evens out.
It comes the other way. You're exactly right, and it goes the other way. And you know what happens is good teams put themselves in the spot where those calls can be made. The other teams aren't even putting themselves in a spot where they can get a favorable call. And that's the thing, is you have to be so good enough to make the play happen where you even have a shot at getting something called for you. Because that's the key to it is he knows how to push the right buttons to put his team in the right spot, in the right time, at the end of games. And it happens 100% of the time. And nobody's ever done that, and nobody will ever do that again.
So we'll give you our picks next time. We'll talk to you. We're going to be with you before the Super Bowl. So we'll give you our picks, whether you want heads or tails, because I always do heads or tails. I've always put $100 on heads or tails. I've won like 3 years in a row. I got box. You got box. I got a box.
Is it always the same? Are you always a heads guy?
No. I'm usually tail. I like to go tails. I'm leaning heads this year. I'm leaning for some reason. I just go with whatever. And tails is minus 102. So tails is favorite.
Wow. Oh, so it's like that.
They don't.
can't
Yeah,
just-
it's like an extra green. It's like the double
they have
zero.
to. They're
It's like the
trying.
double
They're
zero.
trying to push the action.
It's
They
like
push the action that way. That's
It's like
how
the
they,
double
they
zero
make
on the
it
roulette
got
wheel. It's like the double zero on the
and
roulette wheel.
does it shift? Does like all of a sudden it shift a little bit?
I bet
based
if
on
enough,
wind? Is there
I
like
bet
a
if
wind
enough
factor?
money came in on tails, it would shift.
How has he been working out his thumb? Is it a thumb flip?
No, it's a full ground, right? It's a ground. The NFL, we said that.
Oh no, yeah, no. That's
NFL
for
is a
sure.
ground.
No, that's for sure. All right, this is
Yeah,
all right,
they catch it open. Then no, they better not do that. That'll avoid the bet as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah,
So-
hopefully it's just a good Super Bowl. That's all I'm looking for, and I think we know.
Yeah, it should be all right. I'm gonna have to watch the second half at work. So, Brett, this week, I believe it's Wednesday, 3-year anniversary. We got some announcements to make. We are going down to spring training for the Mets in March. We're going to be covering spring training. A couple games down there. It's gonna be a whole big thing. We're gonna be doing shows, hopefully getting some interviews, hopefully everything.
Yeah.
But we will be in Port St. Lucie for Mets spring training. What are the dates? March what? 15th,
we'll be
16th?
down there about
I got
March,
the flight already.
10th, around March 10th or 11th to the 15th, something like that.
Okay, so we'll be down there.
somewhere in that vicinity, in the middle of which is my birthday too.
Giveaways,
My birthday's right in the
interviews,
middle.
everything.
We are giveaways, interviews. We got some fun stuff coming up for this.
It's gonna be fun. So we got that.
We'll be down there. Can't
3
wait.
years, Brett. I think we haven't seen anything. We haven't done anything when the Chiefs were in the Super Bowl, right?
No, this is all we do. It's all we know.
It's all we know.
It's
That's
all
why
we
we
know.
like. That's why we like the
Maybe
Chiefs.
this is what it is. Maybe this is like they don't understand it. That is, the streak started the moment we turned on live on air.
Right?
Is what happened.
It is exactly because we started like the week before the Super Bowl, and then they went right through.
So pretty much 2 dynasties.
2 dynasties. That's right.
2
now,
dynasties.
This year, I'd say this past year we were a little less focused on the guests, right? We didn't have.
Yeah.
But I can't remember, but I think we had some pretty big guests.
I think it was more like quick content and getting stuff right after the games, and more. It was more in tune this year, I think.
Now, what do you want? Who is your dream guest for next year? They're like a reasonable person, like not like, but reasonable. Reasonable.
And you know who I said, and I remember who I said last year. Actually, I remember I said Terry Collins.
Terry Collins.
Terry
Collins.
We did.
We didn't get Terry Collins. I don't even think I asked Terry Collins.
We didn't, but we didn't really reach out. Yeah, no, it wasn't.
I want Howie Rose.
Yeah. Howie Rose is a big one.
Howie Rose or Sam Rosen.
Yeah, I like that. I'll take any of the 3 of Gary, Keith, or Ron.
Okay, I think your best bet is Gary.
GKR. I think
tried
so too.
Ron wouldn't even take.
I think Howie's in. You just got to get in contact with Howie because he doesn't make it easy. But
yeah. I was with Ron. I saw Ron after the game. I was one of those games where I was over by the press box. I gave Gary our business card, right? Tried to give one to Ron. He wanted no part of it. No. Like backed away, and I'm like, wait, what? The smell or something? I'm like, he's like, listen. Don't take it personally. It's not that I don't want to listen to your podcast. He goes, I can't touch it. I'm a germaphobe.
Yep.
So I didn't know that. Obviously, I might have blown it already with that, trying to stick it in his face. Take our card,
No. He's kind enough. I get that. Listen, you don't. That's not your thing. You don't touch it. But at the same time,
he basically called me dirty, Brett. He called me dirty.
Nah, just life. That's everything in life's dirty to him. But no, we're heading down. So we're heading down right there, like you said, mid-March. And if Gary, Keith, Ron, Howie, we're looking for an interview. Let's get in there. Let's get this done.
Come talk to us. We'll be out in the outfield, right? We'll be doing shows in the outfield.
Yeah,
hand out shirts, all kinds of stuff. So that's it. We'll be with you again. I'll be with you this week. Brett will be with us before the Super Bowl. We'll do something maybe Sunday, right? Some pregame show. Nobody wants to watch that garbage pregame show on television, right? It'll be so much better.
We'll get something good either Saturday or Sunday.
Maybe and Pete Alonso. Do you say he's coming to the Mets? You're crazy.
Done deal. We'll be talking about Pete Alonso back with the Mets at least for 1 year, maybe
He'll
2.
be in Toronto by Wednesday. So that's it. Thanks for watching. 3 years in the books. Brett, good 3 years. Let's hear to another 3 years, and then the Chiefs. Hopefully we get some football for right. Football around here stinks. You got your coach.
1 year it'll all come together. We need it to happen all around too. I mean,
we got the Mets. We got the Mets.
Yankees, Jets, Giants, Knicks going. Like Rangers and Islanders. How nice, man! If we get it all going.
Oh, we didn't do the Rangers. We didn't do the Rangers trade. I'll do something on that later. But the Rangers are not very good this year. So that's it for Brett Grasso. I'm Bob Walters. Enjoy the weekend, everybody. From the Brian Gunzel Studios. See ya.